To the question specifically, what can leadership do to promote the opportunities with hunting and fishing? It's amazing, I think, when people step back and realize the draw that hunting and fishing has to a community and related outdoor activities. And I think one of the most important things we can do as a community, it's a piece I've been involved in with for a bit now, is making sure that we do everything we can to get the Outdoor Discovery Center located here in Gunnison. It creates a great opportunity for this community. At the latest meeting, when all of your colleagues were here, to be able to talk about that opportunity, because I think Gunnison County is very well known for the quality, especially of its elk hunting and its fishing, but we have an opportunity to actually reach out to a whole another generation of youngsters who are spending more time probably playing fishing video games than actually going fishing. And so if we can create opportunities that draw people to our community and allow them the opportunity to experience the things that many of us have, it's incredibly important. And I think there's a step further that, cooperating with Western State, Colorado University, the hunting and fishing opportunities in this community, I think, are very undervalued recruiting tools for bringing students here. We know we recruit a lot of students based on the available skiing and mountain biking, hiking, a lot of things that I came here for. But to be able to use the opportunities in this community to recruit students, I think it's really important we look at a lot of these issues and how they interact with each other. I think, and I know, isn't it? No. I think it's really important that we take a look at development and regulation, and we also look at process. And the regulations versus the process it takes to address those regulations, I think, needs to be separated and looked at independently. Oftentimes, people are frustrated with the process because the process seems to take a long time, or you have to get deep into a process before any assurance. The current Economic Development Group, regulatory conditions in Gunnison County, is one of the things they're taking a look at. And I think what's very important among, especially documents that are full of regulation, whether it's a land use resolution or a land development code or things of that nature, we refer to them as living documents, but they can go back, they can be modified, they can be changed. But it takes authentic leadership to be willing to kind of open up and dust off those documents and go back through them. And I think it's important that the public has an opportunity to speak to the things that are frustrating them. And I think that that's important, that the Economic Development Group is kind of unburying what seems to be the thing standing in the way. I think the other part for economic development here is technology. I think that technological gains, just what we've seen in the short few years of the ability to work from anywhere, making sure that the infrastructure within this community, we've always looked at infrastructure as water and sewer and streets, but technology infrastructure is incredibly important to this community. We need to make sure that we are gaining access to the best possible infrastructure we have for communication to allow businesses to thrive here. And I think it's really important that the process be examined thoroughly, along with the actual regulations themselves. The number one economic driver for Gunnison County, I think, is tourism. And for me, when you open up tourism, it's a pretty broad spectrum. It includes things that we would traditionally think of, especially recreation, from skiing to mountain biking to hiking. But then I think there's a lot of these parts of tourism that are really overlooked. We have national historic districts within our county. We have an incredibly rich arts and cultural offerings and opportunities year-round. The heritage tourism, I think that one of the reasons that we strive to protect our ranching community and what that brings our community is it provides the clean water, it provides the open vistas, it provides actually development on the scale which we want. When we keep large tracts of land in place, it concentrates population growth into the corridor and along into the towns. And so we have this unique setting, and I think living here, sometimes we forget when we step back from it. When someone comes here, we think about our first time when some of us came to Gunnison County, and our jaw hit the ground. People want to be here, and they want to experience in a lot of different ways. And it can be on a horse, it can be on a motorcycle, it can be with a fly ride, it could be sitting on Elk Avenue, it could be just going to the Heritage Museum in Gunnison. We've got to remember that tourism is a very, very wide opportunity, and I think that we have a lot of things that are on the cusp right now that are going to increase that. I think of the Performing Arts Center in Mount Crested Butte is an incredible opportunity to continually grow our arts offerings in this community. Cattlemen's Days, I mean, you don't have to look any further than that. It's the longest running event that we have in this community. People want to be here for a lot of reasons. and we need to create the opportunity for them to continue to be here.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for throwing your hat in the ring. For you to step up like this and take on this challenge is really to be applauded. Thank you very much. My question is, what do you believe is the role of elected government officials in maintaining and improving direct airline access to our community airport? And if you would, please frame that in a 3 to 5 year time frame.
Let me start with. So I have the advantage of the fact that I've served on the RTA board for the last 6 years and know a lot more about airlines than perhaps I ever thought I should or would. I think one of the most important things is we need consistency in service, and I think that we have two very different markets which we have to serve. We serve a business market, and we also serve, which is a local market, and a tourist market. I think it's very important that our seasonal service remain constant year over year. We need to make sure that we continue to build a base in the areas that we're flying to, and that's the commitment we've made with Dallas and with Houston with the RTA. Unfortunately, the airline industry is a hard industry to wrap your hands around as far as how they are able to stay in business and how they do business. Our service from Denver is not guaranteed service. United flies here what they want to fly here. So working better with United to create consistent daily service in Gunnison County is very important. I think the other part that is really important to understand is that a lot of the airlines have aircraft and fleets that cannot land in Gunnison County. For example, American Airlines can land the majority of their fleet in Montrose, but there's only 2 planes in their fleet out of Dallas that they can land here in Gunnison. And so we have to work with the airlines not only on the schedules, not only on the prices, but making sure the proper equipment is available, and hopefully we'll see that with the Airbus coming into Dallas. 3 to 5 years, we need consistency, we need better service in and out of Denver, and we need to find a way to evaluate the true needs of our business community and continue to provide good service for our seasonal customer. I think the relationship between the university and the county can be discussed without talking about the relationship between the university, the county, and the municipalities. And I think that the municipalities have some of the biggest opportunity because of the resources that happen within the towns. Some of the things we've done at the city level, and I would like to see potentially explored an expansion at the county level. The city, we've created an internship program where students from Western can come in their areas of study, do an internship program with the city, and then once they've completed it successfully, we set aside funds to reimburse the cost of the credits that they paid for. They're having a meaningful learning experience, something that's valuable in their resume, and they're connecting with the community. I think it's really important to utilize the Vice President of Academic Affairs within the Student Government Association. We have that liaison present with us at our city council meetings. We make sure that we're looking for opportunities. I think, again, the Outdoor Discovery Center is an incredible opportunity. If there's something specific that the county can be doing, is working as much as they can to make sure that facility is located here. We know the land management program at the university is growing, and this creates even more synergy around that opportunity. I think it's really important to look for partnering opportunities. Some friends of mine, Western grads, went on to get some solar training. They went to San Juan Community College, which had a 2-year waiting list in Farmington. We have a growing environmental studies program. Can Western and the community partner on opportunities to create some programs that are certificate-like in nature but could still be built into a major? I also think it's really important to utilize the resources of the community and find opportunity for folks to have, if it's land, if it is resources, and it's departments, how can they work together with the university? So paving of the passes specifically. I think one thing that we realize about our economy is we have a volume issue. We need more volume, whether it's at the ski area, whether it's at the university, whether it's in our tourism year-round. We need more volume, and that entails getting folks here. The number one responsibility is look at the cost. What would it cost for one of these paving projects? Another piece is the public input. As an elected official, it is important to scope the community's desires, and I think that the community recognizes the desire to have more people here spending their money, and we have to get them in here somehow. How you weigh the return on investment becomes, I think, the discussion. The cost of paving, the cost of that type of project, what does that turn into for access, whether it be students, whether it be skiers, whether it be summertime visitors, and what is the payback on that investment? Of course, it's, a state highway requires state funding. There's pieces outside of the county that would probably be in the mix of some of these as well. Some permitting, whether the volumes are permitted, those type of things. But I don't think it's something to shy away from. I think it's a reasonable question to say, is this a tool to help get folks here, help our economy, and can we still maintain the level of the lifestyle that we like without it inhibiting the things that are really important to us? So I wouldn't shy away from looking at it, though I do, at first blush would say there's probably financially the cost of actually doing the project and the cost of winter maintenance would really be those be hard nuts to crack. But I think it's, you don't shy away from opportunity or taking a hard look at things that could make a difference. It's interesting Wyatt Phipps and Scott Norberg, both the teachers at Gunnison High School that teach metal shop, wood shop, and a lot of vocational trainings are friends of mine. I've had kind of lengthy discussions about this, and as someone who taught high school for a long time, looking at there has to be lots of opportunities that aren't necessarily found at a college or university. I think this does go back to the opportunity that Western plays and possibilities in our community. I mean, your charge as a four-year institution is very specific and regulated by the Higher Ed Commission, but I think there are opportunities for skill-based opportunities that are embedded within the university's program. I think there are a lot of things around solar, energy efficiency. We've seen a lot of our contracting community here in the Valley kind of reskill themselves with a lot of energy efficiency work, and through the programs like OR, they've been able to find some more opportunity. Dave Weems and I have been talking about what does the opportunity look like for a youth corps type program that allows kids to be working on public lands in the summer and learning trail building skills, forestry skills and things of that nature to serve a community, develop skills, and also make an income that's probably a little better than flipping burgers. And finally, I think working cooperatively, in a minute I can't explain it, but I've been working on a concept. I've been working with some folks from Western and some folks here on a farm incubator ag project, which would incorporate the ranching community, some city-owned land, and the university. The details on my website at voteforhouck.com. And I hope to have the opportunity maybe to explain that in more detail. But there are opportunities to provide good on-the-job training and good skills that allow kids to stay here and even attract other people who want this quality of life with those kind of skills. Undoubtedly, we have to be concerned about the long-term projects that the county has to take on. The county, much like the experience I have with the city, has capital improvement plans. We look down the road, usually about 5 years, and to see exactly what fleet do we have to replace, what equipment, what facilities need upgraded or replacement. And part of that plan is how will we fund them, how will we pay for them. So I think it's important to maintain a realistic 5-year plan. When times are tight, you kind of tighten up the belt a little bit. There are things that we need to do. Government has a responsibility to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. Being able to look at a list of the capital improvement plans to delineate what is necessity and what would be nice is an important part of the leadership role. But I think we also have to realize that a diverse economic, if you kind of think of the county as a stool, we want as many legs on that stool as possible. There are some mining opportunities that are looking promising in the Powderhorn area. It seems as though the folks with the rare earth are moving into the next phase of evaluation. Can we find ways to make that happen while still protecting our water and our air and our ground quality? We'll need those revenues. You're right about the coal mining scene getting close to that county line. Oil and gas is going to help contribute some, but again, we have a responsibility to protect our air and water. And so diversifying our economic platform, being very looking into the future, very much having a look into the future with capital improvement plans, and making sure that there's a budgetary path to cover those without increasing the cost. Because as a business owner, I understand.